Sandbox MMA fans, we are back with another video. We're breaking down what happened on UFC Saudi Arabia. Overall, went 9-2 on predictions, bringing my record to 166-93. So I'm back over 64%. We brought it back, man. Robert Whittaker brought it back. Overall, pretty solid main card. The prelims were terrible. Now, Nasrat Hakparas and Jared Gordon was a good fight that ended in a robbery, but we'll get to that. The rest of the fights were pretty boring. They were just boring, low-level decisions with clear people that like to grapple. So, when you go to that part of the world and you want to put those fighters on, just understand that you're going to get boring, crotch-nipping fights like we all knew would happen. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm all phlegmy, but Saudi crowd was dead. It's one of the things that I wanted to start with is the Saudi crowd was boring. Like, they were not cheering at all. It's just weird, man. I guess when you're in a dry country, it's hard to get, electrified without booze in the system. But I don't know, man. I don't think I would need booze to get fucking lit up at one of these events and just enjoy it. But it is what it is. I get it. It's not as fun over there as it is here in America. So it is what it is. But anyway, great event. Great main card. The commentary was on one. But talking about Muin Gafarov's back, they had me fucking dying. Like, DC just quietly talking about fence grabs and shit like that. Like, overall, just really, really funny event. Pretty bad officiating as well, though. So we're going to get into it, though. Let's go right into the first fight. Chang Ho Lee versus Zhao Long. I picked Chang Ho Lee to win by a round 3 finish. He didn't get the finish, but he did win. It was a split decision. Super close fight. I did give it a Chang Ho Lee, not just because I picked him, but he landed more. And the most important part of this fight, the body knees. The body knees he was getting in the clinch were rallying. They were getting tallied up. And they were doing a ton of damage to Zhao Long. And you saw as the fight started to take on, it got to round 2 and round 3, Zhao Long was exhausted. And yes, because of the pace that they were putting on, it was crazy. But those knees to the body were a major, major reason why. So overall, fantastic, low-level, interesting, fun fight. I thought it was a fun fight. Chang Ho Lee won 29-28 on my scorecard. He gets a split decision win, and I go 1-0 to start the card. Magomed Gadzhizulov, I thought he was going to knock out Brennison Ribeiro in the first round. Maybe I got casual checked because I forgot that this guy was just going to crotch sniff when he found out things weren't going to work on the feet. He did win the fight. Clearly won the fight. 29-28 on my scorecard. I don't really agree with 28-28, but regardless. Started off, Brennison Ribeiro got really good leg kicks off. Hurt Gadjizulov's leg really, really bad. But Gadzhizulov had a higher fight IQ, knew that he could go to the ground, and decided he was going to go to the ground. So when he took it to the ground, he kept it there. There was really no way in which Brennison Ribeiro was able to get up. I thought there were opportunities for him to at least sprawl and create some movements where he could hopefully get back up, but he just didn't show any ability to do so. Every time Gadzhizulov wanted to take it to the ground, he kept it there. Great top pressure. Good job advancing to dominant positions and staying there. Brennison Ribeiro, dude, has good power, but he just doesn't have the ability to get back on the feet. I will say Gadzhizulov is not as good as we all thought he was. Exposable to hit. Kind of a fun, interesting striker, but he's got to implement that wrestling game. His wrestling game, he just naturally has it. So when he implemented it, he did really well. He ended up winning the second and third round on my scorecard. And it was pretty good. He stalled a lot in round 2. It was boring in round 2 where he just kind of stayed there, stalled out, and held dominant position. But in round 3, where I'll give him props, is he made it more fun. He started going for ground and pound. He didn't really go for any submissions, but he really did try and land some ground and pound spots, get for better position to get, mount and start laying into some of this ground and pound. And he won the fight clearly because of it. Kung Ho Kang versus Muin Gafarov. Muin Gafarov won this fight. Now, I said that Kung Ho Kang was going to win 2 rounds and Muin Gafarov was going to get a robbery win. Kung Ho Kang didn't win any rounds. He got beat up. He showed some decent jabs on the feet, but every time they got to range, it was Gafarov able to land combinations, finish them with a low kick that would swing Kung Ho Kang all the way around. You saw that a number of times. He only landed 10 leg kicks. 5 of them had either Kung Ho Kang falling to the ground or spinning around. So just really, really good work from Muin Gafarov. Showed great combinations. ugly, ugly spot on his back with the back hair. Like the commentary was talking about it. John Anik revealed that he's a back waxer. He was just, they were on one, man. It was funny to see. Moon Gafrov would get takedowns, and Kongo, he only got one takedown, really. Kongo King would get some takedowns, have good position, and then just advance for a submission and give up the dominant position. So I think Kongo King could have won a round if he stayed in a more dominant position rather than getting too aggressive. Going for that triangle armbar, if he got it, it would have been sick. But he went too crazy for it, and it gave Moon Gafrov a chance to get out of there. And that's really where Kung Ho Kang lost his fight, is trying too hard to advance the positions and just not getting them. Now you're seeing he got 119 total strikes here. These are pitter-patter ones while he's in control or while he's getting controlled. Moon Gafrov did the much better work, won this fight 30-27 clearly. Dude, shave that spot on your back. It's fucking disgusting, man. Renat Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby. I did score at 29-28 Fakhretdinov. If you gave Dalby round 2, then Dalby wins the fight. But I did give the first 2 rounds to Fakhretdinov. First round, Fakhretdinov starts winging crazy punches, barely landing some of them. Dalby's pushing him against the fence in control to try and show that he has grappling and he can dominate a little bit there. But I don't know. Renat comes out after the clinch and just sits Dalby down with a straight 2 down the middle. Now, he has the ugliest looking punches in the world. But every single fight he drops someone with him. So he does have crazy power in that right hand. They just look really ugly. So he gets the knockdown, wins round 1. Round 2, they're really going back and forth. Taking a look at some of my notes here. Dalby stopped some takedowns early, but eventually Renat would just push far enough to the fence, get them, pinch his legs together, take him down, and then lace up his leg with his leg. So, pause. Really gay. But, yeah, Renat, he kind of stalled this fight out. As it got later, when Dalby was showing some serious pressure, he would just stall it down and shoot takedowns. Not real warrior spirit, if you're going to ask me. And now this is the second fight in a row that we've seen Renat kind of get forced to stall out fights because he couldn't get to dominant position and land tremendous ground and pound. So overall, I do think Renat wins this fight, but this is a good effort from Dalby. I think if it goes 5 rounds, he ends up winning the fight by finish in the 4th. Renat really was winging heavy punches there at the end. He looked like Rock'em Sock'em Robots just going like this. There's no technicality to it. He's got power. But yeah, and I mean, Nicholas Dalby put up a really good fight. But Renat did win. I thought he won round 1 and 2. Dalby definitely won 3, but Dalby was putting a heavy pace on and was really going for it at the end, landing good punches. Renat was getting a little staggered and then would just shoot takedowns against the fence, grab his leg, and stay there. So, good win for Renat. I don't want to take too much more time on this because it feels like my voice is starting to go. Felipe Lima, let's go, dude. Beat that cheater Muhammad Naimov, who cheats in every fucking fight he's in. Didn't cheat in this one, and he got subbed. Look at that. I was convinced that if this fight went to the scorecards, that Lima was going to get robbed. I think he knew that, and I think when it got to the 3rd round, he went out there and he got the finish. Now, I think Lima was winning the fight already. Thought he was doing better in the striking. Thought he was the faster of the two, the stronger of the two. This dude's really athletic. Like, very, very athletic. Fast twitch muscle ability. Can throw hard, throw fast. He's quick. He can shoot takedowns. He's a very good fighter, man. Felipe Lima is someone to keep an eye out for. He's giving me those Diego Lopez vibes, bro. He's giving me those Diego Lopez vibes. Now, I know that Naimov is not Evloev. But Lima's got time, brother. He's got time. He's a bantamweight. He goes up from bantamweight to fight Muhammad Naimov, a weight up, who's not an easy fight, on home turf for Muhammad Naimov. And Felipe Lima goes out there and just puts it on him. Lands really good leg kicks. Mixes in body punches and head strikes. And again, there are moments where it was a little slow on the feet, but you could see that Felipe Lima was the quicker guy. I thought he was winning the fight. Round 3 comes around. It looks like his corner's like, dude, go get the finish. He literally gets a takedown and a minute in, gets the back, and rear naked chokes Muhammad Naimov. Great win. Can't wait to see what's next for him. He's probably going to go back down to bantamweight. This dude could be a problem. And bantamweight continues to get more stacked. Great performance from Felipe Lima. Sick rear naked choke. Got to it so quick. I'm going to match him up in the next fight. So we'll see when I get to the other video. I'm going to match him up. I'll show you guys who. But we're going to go to the featured prelim, which was Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Gordon. I picked Nasrat Haqparast. He gets the decision, but Jared Gordon won the fight. Jared Gordon, I do think, won this fight. I think he landed the better. I think he won rounds 2 and 3. I think Nasrat won the first round by mixing up his punches well. That uppercut was landing really, really well. His combinations were fast. He was quick. He's definitely faster than Gordon, and I think he's more technically sound than Gordon. But Gordon just put that relentless pressure on him that was really causing problems. And where Gordon was causing the most problems is he would switch to go southpaw and use his lead hand to jab Nasrat and to throw the hook. So that way it was southpaw on southpaw, which Nasrat was kind of having trouble with. It's not like he's used to fighters going southpaw against him. So Nasrat looked good. Jared Gordon looked better. Like overall, Nasrat just kind of got confused by Jared Gordon and Jared Gordon's ability to mix it up. And again, he failed 13 takedowns, but he wasn't trying to take all those down. He was trying to get to points where he would get on the inside of Haqparast and he wasn't dancing at range, which was where Haqparast's game is better. Haqparast threw great combinations in round 1, threw decent ones in round 2, but as the round progressed, Jared Gordon started to get better. And he made it really tricky. Gordon won this fight on my scorecard. He gets robbed yet again because they're in Abu Dhabi, or they're in Saudi. But I was saying this, it was close enough where I felt really confident that Gordon was going to get robbed and they were just going to give Haqparast a decision. This fight did not get fight of the night. I don't think they gave fight of the night out. It deserved fight of the night. Jared Gordon deserves $50K. He got robbed, dude. That was really bad. Really, really bad. But yeah, really good performance from Jared Gordon. He just didn't get the decision. Nasrat Haqparast looked pretty good at times, but Gordon was a little too tricky for him. Let's see what's next for either of these guys. Neither of them are going to get a shot at top 15 yet, but Jared Gordon stays getting robbed. When he was switching stances, that's what it is he was switching stances and landing that lead jab, which was his right, or the hook going in. He would go in with the hook and they would start swinging. It was a really fun fight. They had a ton of high output, but yeah, man. Jared Gordon stays getting robbed. I think that's all I had. Yeah, he did. I mean, Nasrat did wobble Jared, but again, that's the first round. We're in a 3-round fight. Main card comes around. We're all saying, dude, the gloves are busted. The gloves are busted. No one's getting knocked out yet again. And Volkan Ozdemir and Johnny Walker go out there and prove to us the gloves are not busted. Volkan Ozdemir just put it on Johnny Walker from the go, landed good combinations. Everyone that Johnny Walker was hit with, he was getting wobbled or hurt, he didn't respond well to. Volkan Ozdemir knocks him down. Walker gets back up. Volkan Ozdemir knocks him down again, and then one more punch to finish it knocks him out cold. Dude, Johnny Walker's done. He is done. He is cooked. He needs to fight just pillow hands because now his career is... Every time he gets knocked out, it's the goofiest, like, most brutal, sad knockout. Jamal Hill, Magomed Ankalaev, Volkan Ozdemir, there are other ones too, but every time he gets put out, it's so bad. It's like cartoon character bad. Volkan Ozdemir has legit hands, man. They're powerful. They're crispy. He can get on the inside when people are taller than him. He's solid, brother. He's solid. He gets another win, goes into the win column. Johnny Walker takes another brutal KO loss. I think Johnny needs to take some time off. Really think he does need to take some time off and then come back and revisit because he should not be fighting again this year. He just keeps getting chinned. It's so sad to see. It's really funny. But it's sad to see, dude. He has a ton of potential. He just has the fight IQ of a walnut. He struggles to keep range as the tallest guy in the division with the craziest reach. I don't get that. He doesn't use his kicks to stay at range. He just backs up against the fence and lets you tee off on him. He's a dumb fighter. He can be fun, but he just gets chinned all the time. Great performance from Ozdemir. Great knockout. Shows us that the gloves work. And that happens here in back-to-back fights. Shower Magomedov got a round 3 knockout over Antonio Tricoli. Now, I will say, dude, Shower's overrated. He looks good when he's striking because he's slick. The kickboxing's good. The kicks are cool. He had a great knockout. Dude, Antonio Tricoli does not deserve to be in the octagon. He's terrible. Like, really, really bad at fighting. Tall guy. And Shara just lets you push him to the fence. Like, that's dumb. If you're trying to use your range in your kicks, in your kickboxing to win fights, why are you letting someone push you to the fence? Anyway, bad voice crack. Anyway, Shara gets the win. First 2 rounds are super dull, boring rounds. And then all of a sudden, Tricoli walks out there in the third and is exhausted. Doesn't look like he wants to be there. And just stands there to get hit up like a heavy bag. Shar goes to the legs, goes to the body, goes up top, legs, body, up top, and he just mixes it up. It gets to the 2-minute, 30-second mark. He goes out there, and he finishes the fight. He just beat up Antonio Tricoli in the third round because Tricoli had nothing for him. Now, I tell you right now, a real contender that doesn't have V in their last name, doesn't have the Russian flag next to them, isn't from Dagestan, puts this guy out in 2 seconds. This guy goes out in a round. Bo Nickel subs him in a round. Ikram even beats him in a round, I think. I just think Shara's I think he's tremendously overrated. Yeah, his kickboxing good and slick, but dude, he's overrated. Dagestani Guru is overrated, I think. Until he proves me otherwise. He needs to beat these prospects really badly. He needs to beat them quick, dispose of them. These prospects, these tomato cans they're putting in front of him. Now, I get it, Bruno Silva's not a tomato can, but he exposed a ton of holes in Shara's game. Shara can butcher people on the feet. But Shara also was going to get taken down by Tricoli, but he had the worst fence grab of all time, but because it was Shara Magomedov, Goddard was like, it's okay. Who did it earlier? I don't know. I think it was one of these 2 fights. Someone held onto the cage, and Goddard screamed, stopped the fight, yelled at them both, and said no cage grabbing, was almost ready to take a point off the first go. This one is the worst fence grab I've seen in a long time that actually prevented a good takedown. Nothing called. Kashar goes, I'm sorry, my Goddard. I'm sorry, brother. Goddard's like, aye, it's all right, buddy. It's okay, buddy. They had the earpiece going off saying, don't take a point from Shara. This might go to a decision. We don't want it to get weird. Really bad officiating from Mark Goddard there. Shara gets the win. Not that he wouldn't have won anyway, but I don't know, man. It was not that impressive. We'll see what happens next. Bo Nickel called him out. I think Bo Nickel ragdolls him and subs him in 2 rounds. Maybe 1. Fat Boy Gastelum versus overrated Daniel Rodriguez. Dude, I don't think Daniel Rodriguez is that good, guys. His boxing's crisp. Sometimes. But I just think he's kind of a gangster, and that's why he gets a lot of hype. Kelvin Gastelum, when he stays on the feet all the time, is really good. His boxing's good. His 1-1-2 is good. He's just fat. The weight disadvantage helped him. Dude, if you don't make weight in your next fight, Dana should honestly just say, go to the PFL. Because, dude, I like Kelvin, but this is ridiculous. It happens all the time. He has no commitment. I'm seeing reports that Ali told him to miss weight. Rat fuck. Ali's a fucking rat. Does whatever he wants to do. Yeah, man. Gastelum just was better, though. I don't even know if weight even mattered that much because Gastelum, I guess, in the takedowns at 100% dead. He was able to get the takedowns and hold a position because he was just heavier. But we all thought that Kelvin was going to use takedowns no matter what, and he's better at grappling than D-Rod anyway. He ended up being better in the boxing than D-Rod as well. He was landing good 1-1-2s, more powerful shots he was landing. Now, D-Rod was popping his head back a little bit, but we know, Kelvin's got that Mexican chin. And he also showed us, even being heavier, he's got that Mexican cardio. He just doesn't get tired. Kelvin was the better fighter. He is the better fighter. But he needs to be punished in his next fight. When we get to matchmaking, I'll show you who he's going to fight, but he's got to, he's kind of got to get punished. So, we'll see what that ends up as, but Kelvin gets a good win. 30-27 on my scorecard, honestly, as well. I do think he ended up winning every round. But yeah, good performance from Kelvin. Now we get to the crazy ones. Volkov just 30-27 Sergey Pavlovich. I don't know which judge gave which round to Pavlovich, but dude, Pavlovich is dumb. Like all he has is crazy power. He let Volkov kind of dance around him. Volkov would land good low kicks, land really good jabs, was busting up Pavlovich's face, would wobble Pavlovich. Now, Pavlovich had punches where he was getting in there and getting close to Volkov, but he was hitting a lot of shoulder, a lot of chest, because Volkov's defense was on point. He knew there was danger, and he knew not to face the danger. He'd throw his shoulders up, tuck his chin all the way, and he would just stay there. Behind his jab, playing defense. Now, there were points where Pavlovich wanted to start throwing in the pocket, and he did hit Volkov a couple times, and Volkov would kind of swing back, and you'd go, uh-oh, this is where he'd go out. But it's like, as they would kind of go exchange for exchange, Volkov would find his way back out, and jab, and kick, and stay at range. Dude, he masterclassed Pavlovich. Pavlovich's aura is kind of gone. He can hit you really hard, and he can knock you out. But, dude, I think the beating he took from Aspinall, that knockout changed him. I think it put him to a spot where he's like, dude, I don't want to get hit like that again. It made him a little more hesitant in this fight. I just think he needs to take a lower level fight, build his confidence back, and then he can be a Terminator again. But, dude, Volkov pieced him. And Volkov was saying before the fight, he's like, Pavlovich knocks me down all the time. He's gotten the better of me a million times. I think he was lying. I think every time they got into training, Volkov was just better than him. I do. And I think he was putting that in Pavlovich's head just to make him a little bit more relaxed in the fight. And, dude, Volkov schooled him. Volkov's very good. He's a tricky fighter. Would love to see him fight probably the loser of the interim title fight. And then the winner of that can start looking at, like, if he wins one more, then he can go up there. I don't want him to fight Gane because I want Gane to fight Jailton Almeida. Because Gane deserves to fight someone that, you know, is a bad matchup for him for what he's been doing to the UFC. Just a fucking rat loser. He doesn't get to beat fat guys and then all of a sudden go fight for a title immediately after one win. But Volkov's looked good, dude. He looks really, really good. He's on a 4-fight win streak. And he's winning these very well. Like, he's beating people up. And he just did it to Pavlovich as an underdog. Good-sized underdog, too. After the fight, Pavlovich is clearly frustrated, shoves Volkov, and Volkov's trying to show some respect. Volkov's like, dude, I just beat you up for 3 rounds. What are you doing? Poor sportsmanship from Pavlovich. Great win from Volkov. Super impressive. Watch out for Volkov, brother. Watch out. He's a tricky out for anyone now, except for Aspinall. Now, the Pookie Bear of the Car Award goes to Robert Whittaker. I'm going to do a full breakdown on this fight, so stay tuned for that. It'll come out tomorrow when I have a better voice. Dude, Robert Whittaker battered Ikram Aliskerov. Battered. Badly. Goes out there, within a minute, kicks Ikram Aliskerov's leg twice. Ikram doesn't like it. Starts getting really hesitant. He's Whittaker's got his hands low, throwing the jabs, and they're getting through because Ikram doesn't know how to defend those yet. And, dude, he just lands a jab, comes over the top of the 2. Ikram does the chicken dance. Rob just hunts him down. 1-2, head kick, barely swipes the back of the head. And then all of a sudden, Ikram's still up there, wobbled, and Rob feints the uppercut, throws the jab so that way Ikram's hands come back up, and Rob goes, bing, right underneath, flatlines Ikram, knocks him out in round 1. The world rejoices over a knockout that we all wanted to happen. And here's what I'm going to say. There were 2 different types of Robert Whittaker. Of recently, we're only seeing one. And it's the one that is the best version of Robert Whittaker. Where he walks in there, he's angry when he's in there now. Like, he's intense. He's in there, and it's like he feels fear, but he knows he's in there to kill. He's not in there now to, like, point you. Now, he did win against Paulo by decision, but dude, Paulo's got a chin. He's hard to knock out. Like, Izzy just hit him perfectly in the temple, but he's hard to knock out. We saw him go in there with Romero, go punch for punch with Romero, just like Whittaker did. And he beat the piss out of Vettori, who doesn't get knocked out, but that was the worst I've seen Vettori take damage, maybe with Cannonier. We saw him knock down Cannonier. Like, dude, he's beating people up, beating them up bad. When he goes in there with that mindset that he needs to kill, Dude, he destroys people. And this is the Robert Whittaker that I think can actually go win a title. This is the Robert Whittaker that I think can go in there and beat Dricus du Plessis the second time. This is the Whittaker that beat Israel Adesanya in the second fight but got robbed of a decision. That can go out there and beat Israel Adesanya again. Dude, Whittaker has power. People want to say that he hasn't knocked people out in 7 years. Well, there was his knockout. But he has power. He butchers people. Dude, he's just fought the best of the best for so long in his career. Like, he's not going to always get knockouts. He finally got another one that's been eluding him for so long. But when you look at those other fights, they are 3-round, 5-round wars that he is just putting a beating on people with the toughest chins. Vettori, Costa, Gastelum, like you've seen it. Dricus has a crazy chin. Izzy, as much as I hate him, he's got a chin. Whittaker looks good, dude. This Whittaker is a problem. He put himself back into, like, title fight conversation. Now, there is someone that I think he should fight. Now, when we get into the Whittaker versus Aliskerov detailed breakdown video, and when we get into matchmaking, I'm going to tell you what should happen with Robert Whittaker. But stay tuned for that. It's coming out later this week. Coming out tomorrow. Both of them. Robert Whittaker looks fucking great. Like, he looks really good. I'm so happy he won, man. This is a casual check. Anyone that picked Ikram Aliskerov, you're the same type of person that said that was an ESPN expert that picked the Mavericks because you wanted to be different. Listen, woke boys, don't be different. Ikram Aliskerov's not on that level. I don't think he'll ever get to that level. I don't think he'll sniff a top 10. That's my opinion. It was proved tonight. Again, we'll see. As fights continue, we'll see. But dude, just because your last name ends in a V, because you're from Dagestan, because you have a beard that looks like mine without the mustache, because you've trained a couple times with Khabib and Islam, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to be a contender. That doesn't mean you're automatically going to be a future champion. It doesn't. Plain and simple, it doesn't. I'm picking Sandhagen over Umar. I was going to pick him before that, but I'm even more confident now. There are only two dudes that are that good from there. And it's it's Islam Makhachev and it's Khabib Nurmagomedov. Those are the only two. The other guys aren't. Magomed's good, but like now we'll go look at his resume and be like, yeah, he chinned Johnny Walker, welcome to the club. He drew Jan Blachowicz. I mean, you look at his other win, like he didn't beat Jamal Hill yet. He hasn't beaten Alex Pereira. He hasn't beaten Yuri Prohaska. Everyone wants to say, oh, no one wants to fight this dude. That is not true. This dude wants to sit out and wait for Abu Dhabi to fight. So, pound sand, buddy. You don't get what you want. Ikram Aliskerov. Sorry you had to be the... Now, shout out to Ikram for saving this card and saying, fuck it, I'll take the fight. Shout out. Honestly, warrior for doing that. He's a man for doing that. But, dude, he's just not on Whittaker's level. And I'm telling you, Robert Whittaker I was going to pick over Khamzat Chimaev. I was saying that. I've said that in the videos leading up to this. Said that when the first fight announcement came out, when Dana was announcing these fights for June, I told everyone, dude, Whittaker's going to beat him in the later rounds because he's not going to get subbed. And he's going to tire out Khamzat, and he's good enough to take him out in the later rounds. He did it to Ikram in the first round. If Khamzat walked into that octagon last night, Whittaker was going to win. That Whittaker would have beaten anybody in the world. That Whittaker would have beat John Jones last night. I don't know. Maybe I'm capping, but that Whittaker was going to beat everyone in the middleweight division that night, or last night. What a performance from Robert Whittaker. Fans rejoice. I go 9-2 on the card, go back up to 64%. Dude, middleweight gets real interesting again. Awesome performance. Robert Whittaker, you're the fucking man. You make us all happy. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. 2 more videos coming out tomorrow. The full detailed breakdown of Whittaker Aliskerov and matchmaking. Stay tuned.